Philadelphia 76ers were not great last year, just 24 wins, and their superstar, Joel Embiid, spent most of the season sidelined with an injury that left his future pretty uncertain. Now, even with 5 former All-Stars on their roster, not many people thought they'd be real contenders in the East. But through the first few weeks of the season, the Sixers have been one of the most exciting and honestly surprising teams to watch. Embiid has looked serviceable, and it feels like Philadelphia hit the jackpot with VJ Edgecombe. But at the helm has been Tyrese Maxey, averaging 34 points a game so far and looking like the next guy up in the league. All right, welcome back. So in one of the most recent episodes, we talked about VJ Edgecombe and a lot of the rookies from this NBA class, the 2025 NBA rookie class. And one of the players we wanted to talk about today was Tyrese Maxey, who is on the 76ers with VJ Edgecombe. And they, up until last night, which I guess last night was November 4th, were arguably the best. They looked like the best team in the NBA minus the OKC. I'll say the best team in the East.
Yeah.
And they did just have a really good game last night against the Bulls, where it came down to a Vucevic 3 to end the game, which was pretty crazy. Nonetheless, Maxey still put up, I think, close to 40 points last night, and he's looking awesome. The team is still looking great, and that's really it's an antithesis to maybe the way that people thought the 76ers were going to look this season, with Embiid looking super shaky, especially through like the first game. I mean, he could hardly get up and down the court, it felt like, and I still think he's not looking perfect, but we're going to talk about all that. Nonetheless, we wanted to highlight Tyrese Maxey a little bit today and go through his career, starting even when he was younger, just because it feels like this year could be the year that he makes that jump from, fringe all-star to one of the faces of the NBA.
Yeah, it's been electric. And Joel Embiid, I'll start back even before Joel Embiid. Trust the process era was like the face of the 76ers. They had, I don't remember exactly what, maybe 14, 15, where they won 10 games. And it was like the worst team in the NBA, one of the worst teams in the modern era. Then Joel Embiid came in and has been, one of the best players, if not an MVP contender for a few years. And then he's been dealing with injuries, and then Paul George, and he's also dealing with injuries. And like, the 76ers have not been exciting, frankly, for a few years, at least for the average NBA fan.
Exciting in all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly. They've been easy to hate, easy to get frustrated with Embiid, or like how their roster construction is, or whatever it is. Maxey's always been a bright spot, and Jared McCain last year was a bright spot, and then he had season-ending injury really quick. So it's like, hasn't been the most exciting team, and this year, I think they've been the most exciting team. Even last night, they were up big, and then the Bulls had to make this big comeback, and so the game was already exciting when they lost. Like, just a cool team, and Tyrese Maxey is at the center of it. So I'll start off by asking this, Kyle. He's started a few seasons hot. He started his rookie season hot. Yeah. Even college started hot. Like, do you think, if you had to bet, would this be the season where he sustains it the entire season? Or is this still one of those, hot 76ers starts where it slows down?
This one's, not even my opinion, based on the numbers, it's his best. Like I think through 10 games in the 23-24 season was arguably his best. It was the year he was an all-star, and really started to make a name for himself, it felt like. I mean, honestly, he hasn't really had a bad season, but that was when he started to put together some really good games and a really good whole package of the season. And I think that game he started through the first 10 games, he was averaging like 25 points a game. And that was like, there's certainly good chatter about that. But I mean, this season, he's just been on like a totally different level. He's averaging 35 points? Yeah, he's averaging 35 points a game right now small sample size, right? We're through 7 games. But nonetheless,
it's still elite company. It's like to average 35.
Dude.
Small sample size or not, that means you're scoring. I mean, I'm going to do some really quick math here. Multiple 30-point games at least. I think he's got at least a 40-point game. So it's like it's against NBA players, and not where everyone's healthy at this point in the season.
Right. So he scored 40 twice so far this season, and the other games it's not like he's laid an egg once. So he's looking great. And anyway, so I wanted to start off To answer your question, yeah, I think this year is going to be different for Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers in general. It just feels like they've got the youth with them, and it feels like the tides have changed in their favor. They're done with the Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, which I think Joel Embiid is a huge question mark still with the team. The thing is like, I think with or without him, they're still awesome. With him, he can still be like a spot up shooter that you have to respect, because he'll make any sort of small little, like I don't know, like 15-foot jump shot. But then at the same time, like if he's not playing, like it's okay. You have VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, and I think Andre Drummond is their other big man, which I will say that's got to be like, they have to be the least mobile big man combo in the NBA.
It's such a weird thing because Joel Embiid is so good when he is playing his game. Like he's basically unstoppable on offense at times. But he does require the floor to be kind of spaced around him. Like he requires him to have the ball and be working in the post. And he's on a minutes restriction right now. So it's this kind of like weird push and pull where it's like with Edgecombe and Maxey and then also McCain when he gets back. It's like Kelly Oubre this year has kind of like really leaned into this identity with those young guys. It's like run up and down the floor, shoot quick, pull up shots, like, and that is not the Joel Embiid way. And so I'm really curious how they're going to kind of marry these two things, because like you have one of the most talented players in the league who is also one of the least reliable players in the league. Then you have these guys who are playing a totally different style that's so exciting and clearly doing it well. I mean, like VJ Edgecombe, we talked about his shot. Maxey, one of the reasons I think it's probably going to last is like his ability to finish around the rim is so, he's always been so athletic and exciting and shot well from three most of the time. But like this year just feels like he's so balanced and has so many ways to get to the rim. Like this is like a Derrick Rose during his MVP, or like James Harden when he was MVP. Like it's like that level of like, I will get to the rim no matter what you do. So I think it'll stay. Anyway, it's such an interesting team to talk about right now. So, but I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. So okay, let's take a step back. Looking just at Tyrese Maxey, I thought it'd be cool. I think we both sort of prepped a little bit on his past and like sort of what he's done to get to the point where he's gotten. I will say his career is not one like, I don't know, Jordan-esque where he got cut from his sophomore year basketball team and like, it was told that he wouldn't be able to play and then somehow had this insane journey. Tyrese Maxey, the first thing I could find about him was that in sixth grade, he won the national championship with his AAU team, which I don't even know what that's worth, because like, what is a national championship with your AAU team? I don't know if you played a lot of
it means that he's a winner. That's what it's like, worth, Kyle.
Or like club sports. I didn't. I was like so ingrained in local and like public school leagues, so I never really ventured into the AAU side of things. But it's interesting to think about.
I think it is a big. I think for basketball specifically, I think the AAU is a pretty big. I think it's a pretty big deal. Okay. I don't know about sixth grade, frankly, but
like, are scouts there? I don't know. Like, is a Duke scout at an AAU national championship game for sixth graders?
Honestly, probably. Honestly,
it's wrong. I'll say that it's not how it should be. Sure. So, anyways, that was like the first
maximum pressure as early as possible. Yeah.
Moment where it felt like, okay, like this kid is starting to make a name for himself, even when he's like literally 12 years old or whatever. I did find out he ended up going to high school in Garland, Texas. Which, like,
shout out
Garland, Texas. Specifically, that was Matt. I thought that's one of the first places we met. It was not the first time we met, but I vividly remember us playing, because we played, me and Matt.
Yes, I picked you up from the airport actually at that tournament.
That's right.
I don't know if you remember that part, but
in the Outback. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good. Yes, Garland.
Anyway, so he played basketball in Garland, Texas. He was the Texas Mr. Basketball and a McDonald's All-American his senior year. Mm-hmm. And ended up going to Kentucky. And I actually remember when this was going on. I remember when he was in college very, very slightly, because this was back in 2019 was the year he played, 2019, 2020. And this was sort of the years that I was, I think, a sophomore. I guess I was a sophomore in college. And so that's like the years where you were really tied into March Madness, college basketball, all of that sort of stuff. I only barely remember him because this was the year that they did not do March Madness due to COVID, and so honestly, like a lot of players from that year kind of got forgotten. I would say, at least players that you normally feel like you make an initial name for yourself in March, and they weren't really able to because March Madness got canceled.
Yeah, there was no storyline behind Maxey. I think he just straight up declared for the NBA draft. Like, I think he had some good moments at Kentucky, but nothing. Yeah, nothing like Cooper Flag or whatever. It's like so much media hype going into the draft. Blah blah blah. He just declared for the 2020 draft.
Yep. So yeah, with that said, so he ended up getting picked 21st in the 2020 NBA draft, and oh, sorry, I lost everything.
No, yeah, he was picked 21st, and it was the 76ers had just been not taken over, but they had just hired a new GM, Daryl Morey, and I think there was a lot of like hope. He's a more forward thinking, for better or for worse. Like he has a strong vision for his teams, and so he was one of his first picks for the team. And I think almost immediately he was impactful off the bench. And then there was a big moment I remember in 2021 where Ben Simmons, I think, was injured and he wouldn't really play point guard. So the point guard position was like a little bit open. And Joel Embiid, I think, was hurt. And they also couldn't play players because of COVID. And this is when Maxey had like his first big NBA start. And then he scored 39 points and shot 18 for 33. And it was just like this guy is legit star, or I guess I shouldn't say star yet, because it's, a lot of people have good first games, but it's good first start. And I think it was one of the first times that it was Tyrese Maxey is the 76ers point guard, not this could work as a experiment. And I think after that, Ben Simmons still wouldn't play the point guard, and Maxey, I think, is typically a shooting guard, but basically picked up point guard duties like from then on, more or less, for Philadelphia.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I got my notes back now.
You're good.
So yeah, I think that first year, that was like the only real like super notable thing that happened, was that game against the Nuggets where he scored 39, like you had said.
Nuggets, okay.
Yeah, and so then moving into his sophomore year, I feel like the big talk with the 76ers, and kind of this has felt like it's been the Tyrese Maxey story, is that it hasn't been his story. It's been overshadowed by, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And so in his sophomore season, the big talk was this was the year that Ben Simmons was refusing to play basketball despite making an absurd amount of money and being a bad basketball player. And this
bad basketball player. Okay.
For sure. Honestly, to put it lightly, like, yeah, one of like the worst first overall picks in like recent history, I would say. I don't feel like that's too big of a
no, it's not. Especially, it's just hard because when he was doing his thing, he was a great basketball player. He just has been such a bust for a lot of reasons. But anyway.
And one of the bigger problems with him is that they give him a lot of minutes. Like he ends up playing a lot because they want to try to
they want it to work.
They want it to work, and relative to other busts where you have some season-ending injury and then you just don't really ever make it back. I feel like that happens a good bit when we think about like big first pick busts. But with Simmons, it felt like they kept trying, like either with the 76ers and with the Nets, felt like they kept trying to push into it and try to get him to play and try to like get him out of it, and that never worked.
Sure.
And so
okay, yeah. I have a question for you on that. So you're, as a Cavs fan, would you have rather have been the team that picked Ben Simmons, or would you rather have been the team that picked Anthony Bennett first in 2013?
I'll take Anthony Bennett all day.
No, you wouldn't. Okay, give me the case on that.
I would bet certainly that Anthony Bennett has played less minutes for, who did he get drafted by?
By the Cavs.
Oh my gosh, that's right. And exactly. He played less minutes for the Cavs than Ben Simmons did with the 76ers. And
not even close. Yeah, he played 4 seasons and then he was out of the league. I totally
forgot he was with the Cavs. Yeah. And
it's fair, it was 1 season.
That led to the Cavs being able to move on and have a better team in the future.
So if it's going to be bad, just be bad immediately and then
just be bad immediately.
Don't do some give us hope.
Don't give me a 25-point game where you can also play defense and then for like one game.
He was like a DPOY guy. Ben Simmons was so good.
Simmons, was decent defensively for a time. But
Fair.
Anyways, so yeah, I felt like that was what the chatter was about in Maxey's second year. Nonetheless, Maxey still put up like really solid numbers even in his second year. He's averaging close to 20 points a game. He started really picking up his minutes. So in his first season, he averaged 15 minutes a game, and by his second season, he was averaging 35 minutes a night.
Yeah, they fully ceded control, not control of the team, but control of at least the ball for most of the game to him. Yeah.
And so that was sort of the talk was that. So then moving into now his third year, this was the year where Harden came in as point guard. I think this happened at the trade deadline, so it wasn't like it was the whole season. But he came in for the 2021-22 season, and then ended up playing the rest of that season and the following one. Yeah. And this felt like it was sort of, the Joel Embiid, James Harden discussion, and it was not really so much about Tyrese Maxey. And that was kind of valid at the time. I mean, you had two like future Hall of Famers, no doubter Hall of Famers, first ballot. And they were really playing quite well at the time. At least Harden specifically was really going through injuries during that year. But nonetheless, Maxey still put up really solid numbers. He was averaging 20 points a game during that time period. And again, playing 35 minutes a night for that year.
Yeah, I think the key thing for me that I've always been just curious about with him is like he's always been the three of the big three. Like Philly's had a few quote unquote big threes. They've been good at marketing for their teams. I'll say that to get people excited. And Max has always been the number 3. So this year, I guess really last year as well, because Embiid didn't really play last year either. But this year, they feel like they have a more competent team around them. For whatever reason, this is the first year where Maxey is the number 1 of the big 3, and it just looks so much different. Not even just like the X's and O's type stuff, but just like the on the court leadership and vision and like driving the team down and figuring out what play is going to be run. Like that is his responsibility now. And in all the years we're talking about, he was the third guy who he could end the play with a shot or whatever, and that's, I think, the biggest difference that I'm seeing this year. Anyway, that's just a random tangent, but back to the Harden
that is meaningful. I mean, especially you think about like when teams are planning to play the 76ers during, the 2022, 2023, that sort of time frame. You're not putting your best guard defender on Maxey, you're putting him on Harden. And I mean, if you've got like one of those stretch 4 guys, you're putting him on Embiid, you're not maybe downsizing him and putting him on Maxey. And it's not like your game plan is stop Tyrese Maxey. It's stop Joel Embiid, stop James Harden. And he's always just been sort of in the background, but doing his business and like really putting up really solid numbers. He was putting in his time during these seasons. And now we're starting to see what came from that. But all right, to jump ahead to now his 4th year, which this would have been the 2023-2024 season. This was the best season he had. And only because in 2024, this previous season, he got injured near the end of the year, and that kind of really curtailed his performance for the rest of the year. Otherwise, I mean, he was looking to put together another really consistent season. And outside of that injury and the whole 76ers, I mean, with Embiid being hurt too, it just really was not their year last year. But yeah, moving back to 2023, 2024, this was the year he was named an All-Star. He won Most Improved Player that year as well. Yeah. And also got a Sportsmanship Award. Which
shout out.
I think like that is one thing about Tyrese Maxey that feels really, really cool is that he's also just super lovable. It's really fun when like a player is also just seems like a good hang. Like to relate it, I'm trying to think of like the best hang in another sport. I'm trying not to glaze too hard though. So I'll go with Jose Ramirez. Jose Rodriguez. That would be my equivalent of like a player that just feels like a great hang that is also at the top of his game. And it feels like the city loves him. And there's something to be said about a player that stays with their team and doesn't get traded. I kind of glossed over it, but James Harden left in between the 2022, I guess in between 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, after the 2023 playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had like asked for a trade to get out of Philly, which was pretty surprising at the time. Like, but I remember that being also like a pretty, that was what the conversation was on. It wasn't on Tyrese Maxey and is he the future of this team? It was, oh, James Harden wants to leave. What's up with that? Is Embiid going to be back for the next season? Is he having surgery? It felt like that was where all the talk was. And with Harden getting traded, it felt like it was now, Maxey's team to sort of be their number one guard. And that's sort of the shoes he filled in that 2023-2024 season.
Yeah, I think it was either after Harden left or the year after Harden left. Maxey signed the max extension with the 76ers, which is a good show of faith.
Yep.
And now we're getting into the seasons where it's like, this is the only questions are, is Embiid healthy and how good is Tyrese Maxey going to be? Like, that's all the 76ers got, really. There were other storylines. I mentioned Jared McCain. Quentin Grimes kind of popped for a little bit there after Maxey went down.
Paul George.
That was, man, how quickly I forget. That was actually a big deal. Is Paul George can be really good. Man, that's so tough.
Yeah, that's kind of why, I don't know. I feel like the 76ers have enough what ifs that they're going to have a good year. Like, one of those what ifs will happen. It'll either be Tyrese Maxey takes that step, Joel Embiid is healthy enough to be at least like relatively proficient and he can play decent enough defense, or it's going to be Paul George somehow is miraculously able to come back. Jared McCain is able to come back. He
shuts down his podcast or something.
Yeah.
Focusing on basketball.
Exactly. But yeah, and so I think one of those things, or a couple of those things, if a couple of those things happen, I mean, I think they have a chance to be the best team in the East.
Best team in the East.
As of right now, I think, definitely. I mean, even without Embiid looking 100%, I think Maxey looks really, really good. Edgecombe I've got like a lot of hope there.
That is a real thing they've hit on. Oh my gosh, that is a real thing they've hit on.
Yeah. So I mean, you think about like all the question marks on their team. If even like a few of them come up their way, it could look really awesome.
No, I think it's right. Like you said, I don't think he's a scoring leader. I think it's Giannis, but he's at least, actually no, it's probably Luka. Anyway, he's averaging an obscene amount of points. If he keeps anywhere near this level of production up, and Edgecombe is as good as he looks, and McCain comes back, and they can figure out how to do the Embiid minutes, and they get Paul George to be like, I don't know, somewhat productive, whether it's on defense or offense, it's like all the pieces are there
for sure.
It's just so hard because he is so. I mean, Maxey is his 6th year in the league, but I got to say he's still relatively unproven. Like, he has had, I think, one really good playoff game in the year he was an all-star against the New York Knicks. I think he had like 46 points or something. Like, he clearly can perform in the playoffs, but he's still very unproven. And even less than that, it's like this team construction is still unproven. Like, before the season, no one could have expected what this was. And now we're 7 or so games in, and it's like, we got to start thinking about how to operate this team completely differently because things are happening that are unexpected. No one expected Edgecombe to be this good. No one expected Max to be, a top 5 player in the NBA right now. So, I'm not ready to give them any sort of crowns, but I am ready to tune into most games that they play because I am extremely excited to see what's going to happen. Like, especially once McCain comes back. Like, if McCain is going to be as lights out from shooting as he was and as good with the ball as he was, like, okay, maybe he needs to be handling the ball more, and maybe Maxey goes back to his shooting guard role. Like, I don't know. There's so many options, which I think a lot of teams in the NBA, optionality is not something they have, not necessarily in like a bad way. Sometimes it's, the Lakers situation where you have Luka and it's like, what the game is going to be like because you have a player that's that good. Optionality is not necessarily like a good thing necessarily, but for the 76ers right now, I think that they should be extremely happy with this because 2 years ago, it was just like we have no options. We just really hope Joel Embiid can play. And now you have so many ways you can take the team. So it's really exciting.
Yep. I totally agree. Definitely. I think the most exciting team to watch right now, they're actually playing the Cavs tonight. I've been tapped into that game a little bit on the side.
Oh, good.
And yeah, actually, so it's pretty good game. This is Darius Garland's first game back. Donovan Mitchell's playing tonight. He had
good. Okay,
recently. Cool. So yeah, it feels like the Cavs are starting to finally put their team together. I think the 76ers have a chance to be the best in the East if a lot of things go their way. But I also obviously I'm a Cavs fan at heart, and it feels like I think the last time I checked, it looks like the Cavs were up. So Hoping that holds. But yeah, I think with Maxey, last things I'll say here. This season, his shooting has just been phenomenal. He's shooting almost 50% from three. And if he's able to keep that up, especially with like his 3-point style, I see more and more, this is going to sound crazy, but I see more and more Steph Curry in him the more I watch him play. Like he does that crazy fadeaway, like catch and shoot style where it's not just catch and shoot. He dribbles to a spot or is like moving really well off the ball, catches it, and then like with someone contesting, he's like falling away and shoots like, and he makes that shot really often.
Yep.
And it's to the point where it's not just like, oh, he's really hot right now or it's fluky. That's just how he plays, which is really a dangerous like thing to defend. Like it's impossible to defend in some ways.
He's got a little Steph Curry. I see what you're saying. He's also fast like him off the ball and always moving. Like he's got the engine that Steph Curry does.
Yeah.
He's a little longer. Like his arms are a little longer than Steph Curry too. So he's even got a little more options to finish around the rim. I like the comparison.
Yeah. So anyways, that's about all I have to say about Tyrese Maxey. I'm hope him and the 76ers. I hope everyone gets healthy, man. That'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see that team healthy. I think they would have a real shot at making a deep playoff run if they can manage that.
Yeah, just after all the ups and downs and the trusting the process and the process failing and the whatever. It's so funny that after all the branding that it was a third round or a third overall pick and the guy that you picked in 2020 both going up a level, that's what did it. You just really never know. You really never know, especially in the NBA with guys that are just so obscenely talented like these guys are. But yeah, good luck to the Sixers, I guess.
Thanks, Matt.